Happy Monday, everyone. Well, almost everyone. I suspect not for this special constable for this reason here. Not the finest example of policing I've ever seen. Special constable policing at that. Now, I'm just going to caveat this video before I dive into it. This is not to bash either the police or special constables, because most police and most special constables, I trust, would not act like this. And in fact, I served as a special constable many years ago. Probably when I was too young to do it. But I learned a lot. I was grateful for the experience. I gave something back to the community and so on. Police presence and all the rest of it. So let's dive into the video so you know exactly what we're talking about. This is blowing up all over X as we speak. So I expect this is going to get significantly more views than it has now. Take a look at this.
Religion you're allowed to do anywhere.
No, miss, you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church grounds, by the way.
You're not allowed to sing church songs outside
of church songs or church
you're not allowed
grounds. That's fine. That's
you're
fine.
not allowed. She just said you're not allowed to sing church songs outside of church.
Outside of church grounds, unless you have unless
That's
you've been authorized by the church to do this kind of song.
Right. So quite an unequivocal statement by the special constable there. You are not allowed to sing church songs outside of church unless authorized by the church, which is of course not true. There is a specific scenario that it might be the case, and the only one I can really think of, well, there's two or three I can think of if I really try hard, but the main one I can think of would be if the local authority has issued a public space protection order. For example, you'll recall the videos I did on praying near an abortion clinic where the local authority deemed it necessary to prevent harassment of individuals going to that clinic and therefore restricted prayer outside or within a certain distance of that clinic. That's one possibility. I don't suspect that's really the case here. Alternatively, it might well be that they might think it's a nuisance. I don't really see how it would amount to a nuisance, but let's say it was very loud music and it's consistently all day long, every day, without a permit, earning money, things like that. Potentially that might come into play. But otherwise, generally speaking, singing church songs outside of a church is not against the law. Let's look at the rest of this video.
Not saying anything anymore,
Are you saying that you don't care about the Human Rights Act? You're lost? Religion you're allowed to do.
So you can hear the sheer disgust and revolt at the lady filming this officer. And it is certainly not the best example. Now, I do this not to ridicule the officer. I feel she did that herself. She obviously knew she was being filmed and she did it to the camera because she knew she was being filmed. Now, the thing is, if you've watched my recent videos in the last few days, if you do things out in public which are less than favorable on your reputation or the reputation of your company or whatever, if your behavior is just not that great, someone is going to call it out. And there's nothing wrong with calling that out. In fact, they should just immediately apologize for it. I wouldn't even go so far as to say, as many have, that the officer should immediately be dismissed. Perhaps she should. I mean, I'm not the one to make that sort of call. I certainly believe that that behavior is not what the police service should strive for. But there should certainly be some public acknowledgement of the fact that that is unacceptable behavior. She's wrong in what she says about the law. If she were correct and there were a public space protection order in place and it was a thing that they were trying to stamp out in this area for various reasons, for example, the praying outside of a clinic, which you still may not agree with, but if it is law that's put in place, then it's the law. The law is the law. Many times on this channel, I will tell you what the law is. It's not necessarily me saying this is the best thing ever. It's me telling you this is the law and one needs to comply with the law. Otherwise, you can get punished, sued, and so on. And that's just the way that it is. But many people have commented on this thread, and a lot of people are calling for her to be reported, dismissed, and so on. And some people arguing that it's religious discrimination because other faiths can and do pray in public, and there is no general prohibition on that, unless, as I say, the local authority has deemed it necessary to put in place a public space protection order to prevent that in this area. But this doesn't appear to be one of those. I might be mistaken. If anyone does know exactly where this is and whether there is a public space protection order in place for that area, that will obviously come within what I've described here. But I just don't think that will be the case. So this, as I say, is something that needs to be called out. They need to immediately deal with it. They need to immediately acknowledge it, apologize for it, and that it won't happen again. As I say, whether or not it warrants being dismissed as a special constable, I'm not sure that it goes that far, but I suspect that might be the outcome. Those are decisions best left for those with more experience, more knowledge and expertise in that particular area of recruitment, and it's their decision to make. I just know that when I was serving as a special constable many, many years ago, that I wouldn't have dreamt of doing anything remotely like that, which is not only unprofessional, but quite disgusting. And it beggars belief, honestly. But let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, thank you for watching.